Hello everyone, this is Professor Rugved and let us continue with your next lecture of data structures. We are towards the end of the first module. So the last topic is revisiting structures. So you might have seen in your programming course that struct keyword is used for creation of structure. So if I take a simple example of structure, you can see on the screen struct sample, and I've kept three members: int a, float b, char c. Okay, and the structure is closed. Now, when I want to create a variable of this structure, it will be created like this: struct sample x. Okay. Now, limitation of using this only struct keyword here is every time when I want to refer to my structure, I cannot refer it just by its name, sample. I have to refer it along with struct keyword. So it has to be struct sample. Okay, we'll come to that, how to get rid of this problem. But first see how the variable looks like. So you can see in the figure that this is how the variable looks like. My variable x will contain internally three members. Okay, so understand the nomenclature also. When I say struct sample x, x is called as a variable of a structure. Whereas what we have internally are called members of the structure. So how do I access the member? See, this is a general way you can access. Variable name dot member. So this dot operator, which we obviously use for accessing the member directly, is called as direct member access operator. So if you see, x is my variable name and a is the member. So I would say x dot a, x dot b, x dot c. Now it's very simple. If I have another variable, let's say y, it will also have the same members if y also belongs to sample. Then I can access those members as y dot a, y dot b, y dot c. So in general, variable name dot member. Okay, we talked about one limitation, that use of struct keyword every time when we have to refer sample. If you want to avoid that, then we can in a very easy manner, we can use a concept of type def. So let's move ahead. Type def keyword. So if I define my structure like this, type def struct with int float char, and the name is given here, sample, semicolon. So after struct, I have not given anything. If you want to, you can even write sample here, which is not compulsory, but writing sample here is compulsory because that becomes the name of the structure. Now the advantage here is once I use type def and I create a structure like this, I can refer the name of the structure directly as sample x. And I don't have to use struct keyword every time when I refer sample. Okay, so that is the basic concept of type def. The rest of the things are same. Now let us move ahead with the concept that we would require majority times when we work with our data structures, that is pointer to structure. Okay, so let us see how can we create a variable, we can create a pointer, and how can we access it. So sample x, I'm using the same structure which we have defined already. Sample x will create the variable x, as you can see here in this figure, variable x with the internal members as ABC. Now next I'm creating sample star p. You know, sample x, if you look at the size of the sample x, int float char 2 plus 4 plus 1, 7 bytes it will require because the variables would contain member. But if I create sample star p, if you remember the concept of pointer, any type of pointer will always store address, so it requires 2 bytes of memory. So see, this is how my sample star p looks like. Now p being the pointer of type sample, it is capable of pointing to the address of sample variable. So p equal to ampersand x. Now when I say p equal to ampersand x, if you remember the old concept that we had seen, if p points to x, how can I refer x? It is using star p. So with the same logic, if I want to refer the members of the structure, let's say x dot a, just now I said if p points to x, how do I refer x? Star p. So how do I refer x dot a? Star p dot a. You would understand the importance of bracket here because otherwise dot has higher precedence. So I don't want p dot a and star of that. No, I want star p dot a. So the bracket is needed. Even though we would not be using this format because C gives us a better format to use, that is Instead of star p dot a, we can use p arrow a. So if I have a pointer pointing to a variable, then the members of the variables can be accessed indirectly through pointer. How? It could be pointer arrow member. So instead of x dot a, I can use p arrow a. Again, the same thing you can visualize. If at all I have a structure in my main, pass the address of structure to the function, which will be taken by pointer. So if in the function, if I refer p arrow a and if I do some changes, it will rather change my original variable's member x dot a. Now the same function, instead of x, if I suppose call by passing y, my function now will work on y. So now p arrow a in my function will now change y dot a. And that's the beauty of this particular concept. Can you see that this is nothing but a call by reference, but by passing the argument as what? Structure. Okay. So as I said, we can use pointer arrow member. Example is here p arrow a. So when I say pointer arrow member, I'm not accessing member from the pointer. I'm accessing the member from the variable which is pointed by the pointer. For example, p arrow a doesn't belong to p. A belongs to the variable x which is pointed by p. And currently, because p points to x, my p arrow a may get interpreted as y dot a also if my p leaves x and now points to y. So in general, if I say p arrow a, what is it? It is a of that variable which is currently pointed by p. Okay. So pointer arrow member and the arrow operator is very significantly called as indirect member access. Because whenever I'm using arrow, on the left side I have a pointer, on the right I have a member. The member doesn't belong to pointer, it belongs to the variable pointed by pointer. So it is getting accessed indirectly. Fine. So this is a concept of pointer to structure. Okay, you're required to revise all those things properly so that when we'll actually use them while implementing data structure, you would find them easy. Fine. So that's the end of the first module. Okay, I hope you've understood all the concepts well, and this was a kind of a basic and a background module which has created the strong foundation of your understanding of the basic concepts. So in the coming lectures, we will be starting with the second module, and that is nothing but stack and queues. Fine. So that's all for now. Thank you.